Communities around Zeerust in the northwest hope that the inaugural water supply intervention project to be launched by the Water and Sanitation Minister Senzo Mchunu will bring much needed relief. The multi-million rand Dinokana Rural Water Supply project intends to solve the water scarcity problems that have been plaguing the residents for a long time and led to numerous service delivery protests. For more on this, we are joined by Sentleeng Lehihi, our SABC News reporter. Sentleeng, good morning. Thank you so much for making time for us. Tell us about this project and how government wish it would change the lives of people in those communities.
Good morning to you, Aldrin, and our viewers. Indeed, we're here in Dinokana, near Zeerust in Northwest, as the Minister of Water and Sanitation is expected to unleash this year project that was actually started about a month ago. This project aims to actually attend to the water challenges that we're facing here in this very area. We understand that in this area, from the beginning of this year, we've seen quite a number of protests, communities coming together, voicing their frustration regarding the lack of access to adequate water supply. We're talking about Dinokana, we're talking about Lehihi, all speaking with the same tone that not enough is being done to address their water sanitation. This led to the minister coming here and actually setting up a task team together with the provincial government to firstly paint a picture of the water situation in the province and to address the very challenges that have been raised by the community. And in that task team, the findings that they found there were that many of the water challenges in the province were due to aging infrastructure, the lack of expertise, and what seemed to be a lack of political will from the bodies that were assigned the responsibility to provide water to these communities. But this task team then went out and said this set budgets to address these situations, and an example of those initiatives to address the water challenges there is this very Dinokana water supply intervention. This is also part of the greater provincial program that was initiated by the minister that speaks to Operation Bulela Metsi, which seeks to address the greater water challenges in the province. We've done them as the SABC throughout the year. We've went to even as far as the Dr. RSM, Dr. Ruth Mompati District Municipality, looking at areas like Makgokgong, where residents were even forced to access water from, irrigation trenches. We've seen even in some areas where residents go as far as digging up riverbeds just to get a drop of water. So many are hoping that this intervention will bring the much needed water supply to this area. Remember that given the topography of this area, many of those complaining about access to water are those in higher lying areas where the pressure problems are the reason why their access to water remains such a major problem. But we understand that the minister's briefing is about to conclude, and from here we're going to be moving to the sites there. But we're going to do a bit of a maneuver, myself and Silo Mokgopa, just to get closer to where the briefing site is and just try to see if we can get a bit of understanding of where we're going to go from here. But we're going to have to speak now to one of the representatives from the Department of Water and Sanitation. My dear sir, thank you very much for making time to speak to us. Just your full name for the record. Ntate Mathe, we understand that this is Operation Bulela Metsi. The province has had many water challenges, and this is an example of government's interventions. What are we to expect from this initiative that began this year, September?
Thank you for having us. One of the challenges we are having in the province is basically access to water and sanitation. You have actually seen the Stats SA has just now released the stats that in the country we're actually falling behind in terms of access to water and sanitation. Now, what Operation Bulela Metsi seeks to achieve, first of all, is to ensure that at least in Northwest, we used to have a lot of projects that have not been going on for a while, part of which Operation Bulela Metsi seeks to do one thing: one, to accelerate those projects, over and above that, to initiate the collaborative efforts between local government and the Department of Water and Sanitation to ensure that where we are pushing grants to these municipalities, then water becomes a priority. Northwest has been one of those driest provinces. We have had challenges, of course, in terms of access to water and sanitation. Now, when the minister launched the so-called Operation Bulela Metsi, which is actually co-chairing with the Premier and now the acting Premier, they put together all the local mayors and district mayors and then establish the technical steering committee, of which I'm actually chairing that technical steering committee, with the aim to close a gap between the three spheres of government, and this actually within the model of DDM model. Now, what the minister is coming to do here today is actually to launch one of our, turning in one of our projects, which is Dinokana. You know Dinokana is quite historic, political, and of course, but on the issues of access to water and sanitation, they've had challenges. They've had intermittent water supply, so the minister is here to launch one of the projects. He has done quite a few to launch in the province. We've done a few in Rustenburg. So this is not actually the first project that we're doing. And there's also quite a lot of projects that are going to be sorted between now and the end of the year.
Thank you very much for your time. That's the intervention that has been outlined by representatives from the Department of Water and Sanitation. As soon as the minister's briefing concludes behind us, we're going to be moving off to one of the first sites, which is the eye, where the water is going to be sourced from this project. Then forth, we're going to move on to the pipeline, where we're going to see how this reticulation system will work.